What's good, everyone? Welcome back to the show, man. Recap with Mo, where we getting ready to get into another episode breakdown of Tyler Perry's Sistas, alright? But before we get into this episode, make sure to like and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss shit that's going down right here. So let me go ahead and say this before I get into it. I know I missed last week. I was out on vacation. Actually, I'm going to be out on vacation a couple of weeks from now. So I'm going to go ahead and work hard a little bit to get these reviews up and out, all right, and get them recorded so I can put them up. But anyhow, the episode that we're going to review today is season 6, episode number 2, titled Full Circle Moments. Now, let's go ahead and get into the synopsis for this episode. So it states that Preston shows up for Danni when she needs him the most, but it doesn't seem to extinguish her anger toward him. Fatima sets Tamara straight about compensation for the role she's been tapped to play. Alright? That's pretty much all we got. Let's go ahead and get into this episode breakdown. Alright, so let me go ahead and say this before I get into it. This episode right here, I'm going to be honest, it was okay. I'm going to do the best I can possibly. But I feel like overall it was just an okay episode. It was full of fluff. There was nothing really to hang my hat on in this episode. So some things I'm probably going to bypass because I felt like it was irrelevant to the episode's importance. So I'm going to be in and out. This ain't going to be very long, y'all. So it is what it is. So we're going to go ahead and start it off with Danni and Andy. They're riding in the car, and I enjoyed this little bit of conversation because it gave Danni the opportunity to convey her little bit of frustration with Andy. Like, okay, let's talk about it. If you want to talk about it, let's talk about it. But if you just want to talk about my shit and not bring up your shit, then we're going to have a whole different situation. But Andy tries to tell her, that everybody has the time, and it's been like this since they were in college. It is what it is. You just have to take it as it falls. But as soon as Danni starts to talk about Andy's situation with Gary, she wants to change the subject. Oh, by the way, she wants to cut on the daggone music at the same time. And Danny's like, oh, so now you want to cut on the music. You don't want to talk about it. You don't want to be real about it. So Andy pretty much tells her that she's going to eventually leave Gary, which we all know is going to be like eternity before she actually decides. And Danny, puts her out on Front Street like, okay, when? After the wedding? Like, when the hell are you going to make a change? But I'm going to be honest with y'all. You can almost tell that Andy is getting a little frustrated with all the back and forth with her sisters about this whole situation that's going down with Gary. And I think she's getting a little bit tired with Gary's antics as well. So we'll see that later on. But anyhow, I thought that was pretty decent. From there, we get to, I guess, the pivotal point in this episode where Danni is coming into her apartment. She's happy that the girls are gone, but when she goes into the kitchen, she's getting a beverage, and when she comes out and turns around, she sees old boy, what's his name, Jonah, standing right in front of her, and he says to her directly, I know you didn't think I was going to allow you to get away with this, right? So we know Jonah from season 5, episode number 9, where the whole situation went down, where she hurt his feelings about what he was bringing to the table when they were in the bedroom, right? So he pretty much spat on her, which I feel honestly is the worst thing you can do to somebody is spit in their face or spit on someone, period. Is absolutely nasty and it's degrading. At the same time, bro, if your stroke game ain't right, you can't get mad at the woman for, pretty much laughing at your situation. But at the same time, this situation got out of hand. Danni pretty much just she went off. That's pretty much what happened. She had this episode where she went off and she hit the guy. Ended up in the hospital, and it got so bad that she eventually went to go see Andy. But anyhow, getting back to this episode, they go at it. You know what I'm saying? She hits him upside the head with a bottle, whoop, whoop, whoop. And we see Preston coming to the door, and he's getting ready to knock on the door. As he's getting ready to knock on the door, he places his ear to the door and he hears her in there with someone in the apartment. So he's just assuming that she's entertaining a new man, of course, because he knows how he ended up in the apartment. And he's just assuming that she's having sex because he leaves and goes ahead and goes back to his car instead of actually knocking on the door. It is what it is. I'm really tired of this back and forth with Preston and Danni. I just don't see where it's going at this point. I mean, it's been a while and nothing has came from it. I assume that Tyler is trying to put, Danni and Preston together. I'm just not sure. But like I said, I'm going to go ahead and skip past this. The great thing about this part of the episode was that Danni was, she survived this situation. Old boy was arrested. The police came and took him. We did find out that she had a restraining order against him. Obviously, he didn't care for that shit at all because he still shows up at the house. So like I said before, you should not put your hands on anybody. Definitely, if they don't want to be around you, just don't go around them. Like, it's that easy, it's that simple. But you have some suicidal people out here that just don't believe no means no. Secondly, let me talk to my ladies just for a moment. I know I got some women who listen to my channel or who are checking out this video right now. Please, please, please. I know we live in a world now where it feels like sexual liberation, but at the same time, it is imperative that you have to be mindful of who you bring into your house. The reason why Jonah is in her house to begin with is because he knows where she resides. If she never brought him to the crib, then this probably would have never happened. She didn't know him. She just wanted to get some. And some people, you just don't know what. Man, let me get off of this, man. I'm glad that Danni was able to live throughout this experience and possibly learn something from it, right? So from there, we head over to Andy's house and we see, like I said, this begging Negro laying up in the bed like Prince of Zamunda with all these roses and everything spread out on the bed or whatnot. So he was like, look, Andy, I've been a bad, naughty boy. What are you going to do to punish me? And she was like, oh, so, all right, so what do you want to do? And she was like, well, I'm not going to allow you to touch me. He was like, oh, that's punishment. Look, bro, let me go ahead and tell you, Gary, she's just not that into you. What's that movie? Was that by Spike Lee? I think it was. Like, she's just not that into you. Like, it's probably time, Gary, to find you somebody new because Andy is rising up. She's figuring out that you are a manipulator. She's figuring out that you're trying to control her life and she doesn't like it. She likes her freedom. She wants to be, free to talk to anybody she wants to. She also doesn't want that's going to control her career. If you're looking for a working woman who's striving up the ladder, but you don't want that, then that's probably not the best woman for you, Gary. But at the same time, you done got caught up in the booty. I'm just gonna call it how I see it, man. You done got caught up. She done got caught up. So both of you guys are playing games. These are dangerous games that two young adults are playing right now. Like, neither one of these people know what they want out of this relationship, but they know that they lust after one another. They know that they love what's going on in their interactions with one another, but neither one of them really know what they want. He knows that he likes Andy, and he likes everything about Andy, but specifically what she does to him, because every time you see him, it's never about a conversation. It's never about being just intimate, sitting down and just talking with her, getting to know her more and more. He's only learning the things that he really wants to get from her so he can give them to her to win her affection, to win her love, to win the bedroom, situations. That's what he's looking for. And then on the flip side, Andy is looking for Shit, I don't even know what she's looking for. Now, maybe ladies, maybe you can tell me something different, but I don't see her seeking companionship. I mean, if she was, she wouldn't be with Gary, because the way, I just don't know what she's looking for. And I'm assuming that she's possibly looking for a one-on-one type of situation with a man that loves her and she loves him back, but I never really see her or hear her convey that to her girlfriends. And we are talking about a show about 4 black women in their lives, right? So I would assume within 6 seasons that we would have had this type of conversation. But anyhow, obviously we have not. So anyway, she pretty much tells him that she thinks it's best for him to leave. He gets pissed off about it, and she pretty much tells him to go to the guest room, because he tries to persuade her to allow him to stay over. And he says, well, I'm just scoot over in the bed. She said, no, it's time for you to go to the guest bedroom. He's like, for real? So I was proud of her for doing that part of it. If she's going to stick to it and keep him, isolated from her, not allowing him to get to where he's trying to get to, I get it. But if she wants to give him to him, I mean, y'all already been doing it this time. I mean, this far. Might as well keep doing Listen, I'm going to give y'all a little bit of truth. And of course, I got to get into the comedy of the episode. But, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Let me see. What else am I going to talk about? Let's talk about this situation with Sabrina and Calvin. Once again, Calvin loves and likes Sabrina. Sabrina is not paying him the time of the day. Even when Maurice, pretty much, brings it up that Calvin loves you, she doesn't want to talk about it. Anyhow, Calvin is either going to have to move on. If she has a problem with his, he being, whatever he is, I don't want to classify him as anything. I don't really know how they classify all of that, but all I'm saying is, if she wants him, she just needs to be able to convey that to him. Don't string him along. He seems like a pretty decent guy. I know he has some situations that's going on that she has problems with or issues with. But if she doesn't want him, she should just let him know. From there, listen, another thing that I noticed about this part of the episode, when Maurice talks to Sabrina, and I know he brings comedy to the show, but I also feel that he calling Sabrina all these B's and H's the whole time, I mean, it would make me feel some type of way as a female hearing another individual, or a male per se, calling me all of these B's and H's. Like, where's the respect, Maurice? Definitely when these people were busting their asses to get you out of jail. And I haven't seen an ounce of thankfulness the whole time since you've been out. Like, as a matter of fact, I almost believe that at this point in time, they should have left your ass in jail, because you are so disrespectful. You are so ungrateful at this point that these people made sacrifices for you. 1.5 million to be exact, Maurice. Secondly, Sabrina is feeling some type of way about this because she gave her word to Bio. Now, she already knows she's going to have to make it do what it do. She's going to have to, make it rain for a little piece of change for that 1.5 million, because Bio just ain't in here to make no investments on something he ain't trying to get to. I'm just going to keep it real, Maurice. So Sabrina's feeling some type of way because there's a lot riding on this right now. And you are so disrespectful to Sabrina. Now, Sabrina is going to have to warm it up or whatever she want to do to get Maurice to understand, look, you need to be a little more thankful to us for what we did, because right now, bro, you going off the deep end. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get past that one, because I just felt that I needed to get that off my chest about this episode. The next thing is Zach and Fatima. I don't even know why they still on the show. I really don't understand. I guess, with him trying to figure out what's going on with his his child, his son, and this whole situation with Heather. I guess that's what's going on. But with everything that's going on Fatima, I figured that they would just move on over there. I'm really not sure what Tyler is doing with their storyline, because we really haven't seen much of them in these 2 episodes at all. Maybe it would progress. But anyhow, when he calls Heather, Heather is like, hey, I don't get in till about 7. And he was like, well, she doesn't get in till about 6. He was like, oh, it's 7. So she was like, oh, what's good? He was like, well, I want to come and see my son. And she was like, yeah, of course, as long as you giving me this bread or whatnot. Listen, I don't know about y'all, but as a grown-ass man, listen, that's the reason why I've always had issues with, getting a woman pregnant. You know what I'm saying? Unless she was my wife or something like that, because me, and I'm not judging anybody, but at the same time, I just believe that, I want to know my son, I want to know my daughter, I want to know who they are, what they love, what they like, and me just spreading my seed every damn where, not knowing who got it, who catching it, what the hell, like, I've never wanted that. Never. And we're seeing right here, what comes with that. Zach was laid up with this, with Heather. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna call her the stripper girl. I used to call her the stripper girl because I never knew her name, or I would always forget her name. But Heather is Heather. All right. So, but at the same time, he had a one-night stand with this woman, and he ended up having a child with this woman, and he has no rapport, no relationship with his son. And now he's talking about meeting his son for the first time. Like, that's some real shit. But at the same time, man, I just think that as men, and I'm talking to my brothers right now, we gotta be careful where we lay our seeds, man. I know it's good, man. When you get in there, I know it's good. But we have to learn discretion. Like, shit, it's not worth 18 years. That's what my daddy used to tell us, man. My pops used to say, look, that's an 18-year, 21-year, 30-year contract. You can keep going on and on, because you never stop being a dad. You never stop being a parent. But anyhow, man, I hope that Zach learns from this, and I hope that, he does better. And I think he's doing better with Fatima, but shit, I don't even know on Fatima. He's doing the same shit. So I don't know, man. I really don't know. So then we head to this sucker Negro right here, Hayden. All right. So Hayden, I don't even know how to describe Hayden. All right. But I don't like it's like this. I'm just going to be 100. All right. You're not used to getting any, so once you start getting, and she start putting it on you, then you give her the world. I get it, but brother, there's no commitment, and Gary is trying to tell you, he just don't want to say it to your face, but I'm telling you right now on this channel right here, bro, you are being played. She's trying to take you for everything, bro. But you are so up in the air because she giving you, what's that song by TLC? Don't go chasing waterfalls. Stick to the rivers and the lakes that you used to. Hayden is not used to this shit. Like, he thinks that this woman actually has feelings for him when he just met her. And he's giving her the world, bro. So I just don't know what category to place Hayden in. And I'm saying all of these guys on this show, and I like to talk about the fellas more so than the women, because I don't really want to get into that situation. But the guys on here, they make us look so bad, bro. Like, and I know the reality is there are some guys out here like this for real. And I'm like, and that's dead ass. I'm just saying. So, all right, so we've dealt with Preston, we've dealt with, what's his name, Gary, Hayden, Maurice. Now let's go ahead and deal with this Fatima situation real quick. So Fatima, you put together this plan. You thought this plan was going to work with your girl Tamara, but Tamara is a gold digger. You can never trust a gold digger because she's searching for the gold. It's already in the name, Fatima. I don't understand why you went that direction to get to Hayden, but I feel like your plan is about to crumble because old girl ain't on your side anymore. What she's saying is the gold, and that's with a big old D at the end of it. All right, her goal right now is to get to the gold, and she says, I'm going to take all this shit. And you talking about, no, that's not wise. She's seeing everything as a big ass picture right now. So that's something that you obviously overlooked, and you thought this shit was going to pan out like you wanted it to. You were going to get Hayden off your back, which it has worked to that extent where he's not even focused on you anymore. So now it's good, but eventually this shit is going to grow and grow and grow, and then it's going to fall right in your lap again, sis. So I hope it was all worth it, and I know when Hayden finds this shit out, because eventually he's going to find it out because Gary continues to ask him about vetting Tamara. He keeps saying it every time. Eventually, what I think is going to happen is that Gary is going to be the one to get our information and actually vets her and give that information to Hayden. That's honestly what I believe is going to happen. And then last but not least on this episode, I told y'all I was going to be real quick with this one. We see the conversation between Aaron and Pam. Now, these two individuals, I feel like their characters, you know, I'm trying to be silent about it, but either way, look, neither one of these people can be on the show if you ask me. Both of their asses can be off the show. I feel like Pam needs to be fired for the shit she just did because, shit, your ass don't even know if, you know, the light on the curling iron or whatever y'all call it is on or not when the red light is on. I even know that shit. I mean, truth be told, I mean, anytime I just learned throughout life, when you see a light on, that means the shit is potentially on or it's cut it off, but you still need to make sure that it's unplugged and shit. I just don't understand how you work in a whole hair salon. And then I reminisce back to a few episodes ago when we had a whole conversation about this with Pam. So she herself already knew what that light meant. So I'm not sure how Tyler put that together as well. And then when it comes to Aaron is just a sucker for real. Like, he loves Karen, but I also feel like this man has a whole lot of shit to hide. All right, so every one of these guys on here got some damn issues, and I know we all got some issues. We all effed up to a certain extent, but damn, like, what's going on? And if Tyler's writing all this shit, man, like, hats off to him, man, because his mind is crazy. So anyhow, man, that's pretty much all I had to say about this episode. And once again, my apologies for getting this out late to you, but I had a whole lot of stuff going on during vacation season. So, you know, I'm still trying to work for you all, man. And let me know your thoughts. What do you think about this episode? How would you rate this episode? Do you feel like it was good? Do you feel like it was shit? I'm not sure. But I honestly believe that, you know, this episode right here was just okay. That's my own personal standpoint on it. You might feel a different way about it. But I would say this. I am intrigued about episode number 3. For a couple of reasons. Number one, I want to see how the whole situation went down with Heather's boyfriend and Zach, what really transpired with that. And then Heather lied about the whole situation, stating that she was the one that took care of the child, but we find out that she has a whole dude sitting up in the apartment with her. So I'm intrigued by that. And of course, we know that he's been abusing his son. So will Zach find that out in this episode, or will it, you know, go on down the line? You know how Tyler likes to do it. But anyhow, that's one thing that I'm looking at. And then the other thing is, hold on. Did y'all see in the preview, and I'm going to talk about it a little more in detail, how in the hell did Maurice get up into the hospital room where Q was when he was the one that shot him? I'm just going to leave that there. I'm going to let that rest. I ain't even going to say shit about it. I'm going to just leave it right there for y'all to think about it. Leave a comment about it. And I'll talk to y'all later, man. I'm getting frustrated already. So, anyway, man, I'll talk to y'all soon, man. Make sure to like and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss nothing going down, all right? Peace out until next time.